Because we're debuting today on Max, we are now debuting a new segment where newsmen gather and talk about their football teams. Wolf Blitzer will join us tomorrow to talk about his beloved Wolverines. But Jake Tapper is here, unbiased Jake Tapper, allegedly. Objective journalist Jake Tapper, allegedly. Like I said, first day streaming on Max. You can catch an hour of this show weekdays on the sports tier. It's free to Max subscribers through February. We'll be alongside the NBA, NHL, March Madness, HBO, and CNN. And Jake Tapper is the chief Washington correspondent for CNN. We will talk to him about newsy things, but we'll let him have his joy here. Look at him. Look how effervescent he is.
Yep, he should be.
Nothing makes him happier. They had no business winning that football game. None. Should have lost that football game.
That's what they do. I mean, they trail by double digits. They come back every single time.
Yeah, that's what they do. They kick 59-yard field goals that are bullshit in the rain. Jake Tapper with us. Thank you for being with us. Take us next to you when you're watching that game. How mad are you at Jason Kelce? Are you yelling at him about his podcast as he keeps making the field goal later and longer in regulation?
Okay, first of all, that second call was bullshit. He did not flinch. The second call, if you want to give, first of all, I think the whole flinch call is bullshit to begin with.
Right.
Because if you can't deal with a flinch, I mean, whatever, but that's
because they called it on you.
What do you mean?
They called it on your team.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You can't make what's bullshit is that they didn't call a horse collar when it was an obvious horse collar. That's what's bullshit.
Okay. Those are the rules. I get it. I understand. Those are the rules. But I mean, the first one was, but the second one was not a flinch. The second one was not a flinch.
It was Tapper. It was a flinch. What are you talking about?
It was not a flinch.
Spin.
The second one was not a flinch.
News.
But whatever, you got the call. You got the call anyway.
Right.
And Jake Elliott still, in the pouring rain, delivered a 59-yard field goal. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. To tie the game. It goes to overtime. I mean, these boys, they are the real deal. You can say whatever you want. Who should have won the game? Should have won the game.
Yep.
Every time they win the game.
Except for when they're playing.
I'm sorry about the angelic lights that are filling my study because the gods are with me and the Eagles.
Pro's pro. I mean, this guy.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Every time you win, except that one time against Zach Wilson that you lost.
Or to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
I believe you.
It keeps us humble. It's fine. It keeps us humble. I don't mind a loss to the Jets. It keeps us humble.
When you were on with us last time, did you say that Jalen Hurts was now the most popular athlete in the history of Philadelphia? What did your top five have Jalen Hurts at the top?
It had him in the five. It had him in the five. It did. Yes.
Well, I thought that there was was a current Eagle not at number one. Do I have this wrong? Because
I don't think I listed them in any numeric order. I just included Jalen Hurts in my five. I mean, he may have been the last one I listed because I love him so much.
Is there anyone?
This is, by the way, the Jalen Hurts hoodie that I thought I lost, and I found it this morning just so I could wear it with you beautiful people.
That's a little bit better. Thank you for eliminating some of that angelic light. How unreasonable are you when they're losing? How bad are you when you're watching yesterday and they're getting trampled a little bit early?
I'm not bad. I'm sitting there with my son, who is even more of an Eagle fan than I, and we're sitting there, and he's great. He's learned, even though he lives in Washington, D.C., he has the exact Eagle spirit. He's yelling at the refs for their bullshit calls, like that second flinch call. He is agreeing when they, when they make the right call. I mean, he is trying to figure out who Zacchaeus is, as is the entire rest of Philadelphia.
That was unbelievable, that catch. How is that possible? They've got so many guys to throw to, and that's the guy on 3rd and 15. They're hitting in the back of the end zone.
The touchdown that sent 7 million Philadelphians to Google. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Who is this man? Beautiful. And it turns out he went to high school with Swift. Beautiful. I mean, unbelievable.
I didn't realize you were learning who he was at the same time.
Of course,
I was.
everyone was.
He was on the Falcons until April. I mean, I'd never even heard of him, but wow, amazing. So good.
I was surprised that the ball didn't get jostled at all as he fell out of bounds, that the ball
I mean, all of us were like, please, Please let that be a touchdown. Please, no, let's have the replay. Yes, it was a touchdown. Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Now, Wolf Blitzer is also a Bills fan, I'm told. So I'm wondering,
Huge.
any back and forth yesterday?
Yeah, do you talk
talking
shit?
smack?
Not yesterday,
what?
today.
Normally I would be a huge smack talker, but I have reverence and respect for Wolf. So I do not.
Okay.
Like, for example, my daughter is a jock. So my daughter she committed early to Michigan for rowing. She's a junior in high school. She committed early to Michigan for rowing. So all of a sudden, our family just 2 weeks ago became Michigan fans. It just like happened like that. We are now Michigan fans because of her. And so Phil Mattingly, who's a morning anchor, the CNN This Morning anchor, he's an Ohio State guy. So Saturday, I was just texting him the meanest, most horrible texts in the world, because he was on vacation, so I couldn't do it on Twitter or X because he wasn't responding. And then Phil showed up on Sunday saying that his happiness about my daughter's accomplishment has now been tempered by the realization that I have now become a Michigan super fan, which is going to ruin his life for the next for the future, which is the correct response, because I will now be awful to him as an Ohio State fan. But I can't do that to Wolf because he's an icon. I can't.
Well, where's your line on this, though, for respect? John Berman is a Patriots fan. Will you light him up?
I'm mean. I'm hard.
So
when we beat the Patriots in 2018, I called into the morning show and berated him when he was the morning show anchor at that time. Yeah, no, I'm horrible. I'm a Philadelphia fan. I'm horrible. But I won't do it to Wolf because I have reverence and respect.
You mentioned
That's
that.
the only guy, though.
You mentioned
right?
Are there others though who rise to that level of respect? Is he the only one in this tier?
He is the only one.
Wow.
I mean, he's a god tier newsman. He's somehow made us all accustomed to how ridiculous his name is, and we just don't think twice. Wolf Blitzer.
That's not his real name.
No, he was born in
Anderson
Germany.
doesn't like sports at all, so like that's a whole. He just does he doesn't care. Like it doesn't matter. Like he doesn't. There's no team that he roots for, so it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to think. I mean, I really like Aaron. I really like all of them. I mean, but Aaron Burnett went to Williams. I don't even know if they have any teams for anything.
Right.
So I mean, whatever. And I don't even know. But no, I'm relentless. And by the way, they give it back to me. I mean, Berman is really mean about it when the Eagles lose anything, or Philadelphia loses anything, which we do quite often. Maybe you remember last season for every sport there was. But yeah, no, I'm not going to give it to Wolf. One of my close friends is from Buffalo, from Lockport, and I was sending him some very mean messages and images. AI is great for this sort of thing, like the images you can create with what an eagle can do to a buffalo.
That's what you were doing.
I need not go into it. But
better left unstated. We will get to some of the news items, but yesterday during the Red Zone broadcast, a fire alarm went off on Scott Hansen, and he was supposed to leave the studio. Have you ever had that happen to you during a broadcast? Have you ever had something happen during a broadcast where you thought you were going to have to leave air?
No, but I have seen it happen on CNN in New York one time. Jim Sciutto, and I forget exactly what it was, but there was some sort of thing that happened. I think it was, but I don't exactly remember what it was. But there was some time that they had to evacuate the building. That has never happened. That has never happened to me, thankfully. I'm sure. I mean, it does happen, though. But no, it has not.
I should tell the people that he anchors The Lead with Jake Tapper and State of the Union. He's the chief Washington correspondent for CNN, and he's got a new novel out, All the Demons Are Here.
Can I ask you a question? I'm sorry to turn the tables. First of all, congratulations and welcome to Max, by the way. I do want to say that as somebody who's been on Max for a little bit. The Lead is on Max, and it's so exciting to have you on Max. Let me just ask you a question. Why is Jalen Hurts not mentioned more in the top quarterbacks? Because it just does seem to me that he is
You're right.
incredible, and he should be like mentioned at least top 2 or 3 quarterbacks, and I don't understand why he's not on these lists.
The same reason Brock Purdy isn't, because the assumption is that he's being aided so much by the people around him that he's not as individually great by himself.
Also the tush push. But listen, Jake is right, Dan, because we have to come to the realization that Jalen Hurts with 29 touchdowns went to the Super Bowl last year. He just might be the best quarterback in the NFL.
That's what I think.
And no one ever discusses him as the best quarterback in the NFL.
Dak Prescott's having a better season.
No, I get that he has wide receivers that are amazing. I get that, and that's totally fair. But he really is one of the top 2 quarterbacks in the league.
But it's the same thing for Tua, right? Like if I ask you, who do you want, Jalen Hurts or Patrick Mahomes? You're saying Patrick Mahomes. Like, are you not? What? What?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I get that you. I mean, look, I understand, and we saw that in the game against the Chiefs, where because our wide receivers are so much better, it looks easier for Hurts than it does for Mahomes. And when Mahomes misses, it looks like it's Mahomes' fault and not the wide receiver's fault. I get it. I don't know. I just think I understand what you're saying. I'm not going to argue with somebody who knows more about football than I do, but I'm just saying I think Hurts belongs in this conversation.
Jalen Hurts was the best player, even though Kansas City won. Jalen Hurts was the best player on the field last year in the Super Bowl. I said this on God Bless Football. You can check it out on Max if you want.
Oh, you can't check it.
We're not there?
Max.
Oh.
No, God Bless Football's not on Max.
Do you still have a beef with Assad in the Super Bowl, that turf that had you guys slipping all over the place? Is there a CNN investigation on the sod in the Super Bowl?
No, but I was happy to be rid of our defensive coordinator, and I hope the Cardinals are enjoying him.
I never got to any of the serious stuff with him. Thank you for being on with us, Jake. We will check in
anytime
with you on the serious stuff down the road.
Yeah, we have a tough. Our schedule's tough the next 3 games, but
wins losses.
So far, I don't know if you saw. I don't want to jinx it. But at the beginning of the season, I had a very bold prediction about how our record was going to go. I said it was going to be 15-1. I did this with our friend Rich Eisen. So far, we're 10-1. So
but there are 17 games.
Well, then maybe I said 16-1. So I apologize. But in any case,
it's a fine.
I'm not off. So
no, you're trending well.
I'm just saying. As of now, I don't want to jinx anything. Anything could happen. We could end up 10-6, 10-7. But I'm just saying, right now, it doesn't look horrible. That's all I'm saying.
This is why everyone hates the media. You're clearly biased, and I told you so is what it is. You're ending
very
our
biased.
Conversation.
100%.
All right.
Very biased. Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'm glad we all agree.
See you later. Enjoy the AI of Eagles doing bad things to Buffalo.